All right, we're back. We're gonna do another Myfitnesspal diary deep dive. I think these are really cool because I kind of walk you through my thinking process between my what I'm eating throughout the day, especially since like as you can see, I eat some pretty wild stuff for being as lean as I am, and because typically people don't think you can, eat like right here. We got McDonald's, we got Starbucks, we got alcohol, we got oatmeal. Like this is just a complete. Like if you didn't know any better, like this is a clusterfuck of a nutritional plan, right? So, and I'm actually gonna take out that because I didn't eat that yesterday. I ended up eating that today. So we're gonna dive in. Let's just pick a random day here. And by the way, people are really enjoying this because they're kind of seeing what I'm thinking as I'm doing things. So let's just go ahead and dive in. Let's pick February 13th of this year and let's see what happened. Okay, let's see if I can remember. Okay. All right, let's get into this. All right. So my targets at that for that day were 240 carbs, 60 fat, 150 protein, and it looks like I hit these guys on the dot. I missed 36 carbs, but the other I was on point. And the reason why I'm thinking that I stopped here instead of getting the last 36 carbs or so is because of this pizza. So what I'm assuming happened on this day, I believe I probably went to Pizza Antica with my wife, and then I decided to just leave this extra buffer in case I had underestimated or like there were actually more calories than what I assigned to that pizza, which was 640 calories, 62 carbs, 32 fats, and 24 protein. Okay. Now that I look at this, like I feel like the 24 protein might be high for that pizza at Pizza Antica. But the reason I tracked it as CPK and the frozen margarita pizza is because that's coming from a company that has nutritional information. So I know it's going to be accurate, right? Like it will be more accurate than trying to find Joe Schmo's pizza shop and using, like, they're not going to have calorie information. Okay. And so, and then I kind of estimated that because I've seen so much food being weighed and measured because that's what I've done for 8 years that I know kind of approximate like how many calories a slice of pizza has, right? Because it's gonna have the same ingredients. Like that's what you got to think about. This thing has bread, which is gonna be carbs. Bread is gonna be all carbs, like a gram or so of fat. Bread does not have any fat, not a lot of fat, and then it's gonna be a little bit of protein. So that's the crust, right? And then it will have, if it's a pizza, it's gonna have sauce, which is gonna be almost all carbs, right? It may have a little bit of fat in it again, but it's mostly carbs. And then you'll have whatever your toppings are, right? So, in the case of the margarita pizza, that means it's going to be mozzarella cheese. So then if I know, what is margarita cheese calories, that's like, you have fat and you have a little bit of protein. And actually the fat and protein usually in cheeses is close to each other. So it's like a slice of cheese is typically 100-ish calories, 80 to 100 calories. And then it's like five or like 6 or 7 grams of fat and like 4, 5, 6 grams of protein, right around there, right? So it's not like your margin of error is huge, right? But that allows me to kind of think through like how much calories are actually going to be in what I'm eating. But that's a skill that takes time, and you can't develop it um, without taking the time to weigh things for a long time, all right? So let's take a look at the rest of this day. So we started off very typical for me, a donut in the morning or something sweet. I've been pushing that off lately because I don't want to have less fat in the later on in the day, because that, takes out a good chunk of my total fat, right? So now I'm down to 50 grams of fat. So I'm looking at, in this case, that's like 20% of my fat for the day in the morning. So, and then, to kind of counterbalance that, I drank a muscle milk that day, which will give me my protein. The big key in calories is like being able to get your protein while keeping your calories low. And then I had some chicken breast, 65 grams. I'm assuming this was like a little bit leftover from the day before, because I'm not making 65 grams of chicken. Like, that's like 2 ounces. So that was probably left over from the day before. Or sometimes what I do is, if I'm the day before this, if I make a bunch of chicken, and let's say that evening I only needed 200 grams, and then I had 265, sometimes I'll just eat the 265 and then log the 200 for that day, and then I'll put the 65 for the day following. That kind of lets me have like a head start on the following day, because you got to remember, it's like we track on a daily basis, but it's the weekly numbers that matter, and the monthly numbers, right? So I'll do that sometimes. And then I had a double chocolate Nesquik. I must have been really hungry, because I usually don't, like, I'll just avoid those. Dark chocolate almonds, a couple pieces. That's something that I had at my house at that time from a New Year's Eve party, charcuterie party, and I'll try to, like, those are dangerous because they have so much calories and fat. Like 2 pieces and you're already at 3 grams of fat. And then later on that day, like I said, we must have gone to Pizza Antica, because that also explains the drink here, the alcohol. And then, so for alcohol, I track it by calories. So shout out to Dr. Trevor Cashy, who taught me this, or showed it to me in this way. So so what this should say is carbs, fats, proteins, alcohol. But there's no tracking alcohol, because alcohol is the fourth macronutrient, okay, or category of calories. So since there's no space for that, right? And I know I drank about 100 calories, because one shot is about 100 calories. What ends up happening is it'll throw off my numbers, because it'll subtract the calories, but it won't, like, then I'll think I have more macros here. But so what I do is I take my 100 calories, so 1 gram of alcohol has 7 calories. So that means like 100, so this 100 calories would have been about 14 grams of alcohol, right? That's where it should have been logged. But since we don't have that, I like to just take my alcohol and I put it into the carbs category, so that I can account for it, right? So then what I did is I have 100 calories of alcohol, which is one drink, and that's divided by 4, because 1 gram of carbs has 4 calories. And so that gives me 25 grams of carbs, 100 calories, and now that alcohol is accounted for, right? These 15 grams, I'm assuming this was like some Jolly Ranchers, probably like 3 or 4 Jolly Ranchers. And then at night, this is what I did. So I know I have whey protein here and like peanut butter powder, which is extremely low fat. So knowing that, we got home late, I wasn't going to cook, and I still had a bunch of protein to eat. So I got my protein through this shake right here. And so that's kind of the breakdown of this day, and my thinking behind it. All right. So if you got questions on that, if that was helpful, let me know. If you enjoyed this and you want me to do more, please like and comment and subscribe to the channel. And we will keep making gains, quarantine or no quarantine. All right.